Fast, focused, and fearless. Here's everything you need to know as you jumpstart your day. Good morning, I'm Pauline Verzosa. Vice President Sara Duterte has officially left her position as DepEd Secretary. She and new Education Chief Sonny Angara met yesterday and discussed matters concerning the education sector. Her departing words to Angara was welcome to the chaos. VP Sara also denied rumors that she resigned from DepEd because of First Lady Liza Marcos.
No, kasi wala naman din kinalaman si First Lady sa trabaho namin ni Pangulong Marcos. Medyo mahaba yung kwento na yun eh. We need a sit down. We need a sit down for the reasons.
The Vice President also revealed that both President Bongbong Marcos and her father, Rodrigo Duterte, sought her help for the midterm elections. However, she chose not to participate for the upcoming elections next year.
Inimbita ako ni President Marcos na sumali, tumulong sa administration para sa mga senator candidates. At sabi ko sa kanya, hindi muna ako sasali sa midterm elections. By chance, nakita kami ni former President Duterte. Inimbita din niya ako na mangampanya, tumulong, sumuporta para sa mga candidates ng PDP. So sinabi ko din sa kanya na hindi muna ako sasali sa midterm elections.
Political pundit Ronald Llamas says what Vice President Duterte wanted in the first place was to be the defense chief. Here's an excerpt from his interview on The Big Story.
Can you refresh our memories? Why was that the start of everything?
Well, apparently ay meron siyang paborito na gustong maging posisyon sa Marcos government, and apparently ay ito yung defense portfolio. Although wala naman tayong confirmation dito mismo kay Vice President Sara o kay Bongbong. Ito ay nasa level ng Marites, nasa level ng may ilang mga kausap na nagsasabi na ito yung gusto ni Vice President. Kaya bottom line, mas maganda na si Vice President Sara ang magsabi nito. Ang problema, yung kanyang mga statements are very cryptic. Long story, kahapon sabi niya, yung kanyang designated survivor is neither a joke nor a bomb threat. No? So, ang hirap din i-second guess kung ano talaga ang ibig sabihin ni Vice President Sara Duterte. So, ang ginagawa lang natin ngayon ay sinusubukan nating magbigay ng educated guess dun sa mga pangyayari, dun sa mga gusto niya. At based din dun sa mga nangyari na mga context. Siya na mismo nagsabi sa June 12 that the unit team ended immediately after the elections. Medyo pregnant with meaning yun. Ibig sabihin ay wala naman talagang pinagkaisahan na program of government yung unit team kung hindi manalo sa eleksyon. At dahil nga yun yung dahilan for the unit team ay malamang yung pinag-uusapan natin ngayon, batay sa mga sinabi rin ni Vice President Sara Duterte, ang unity talaga ay yung division of spoils. At kasama sa division of spoils ay yung position sa gobyerno. Isa dyan ay ano ba yung posisyon sa cabinet na kukunin niya. At mukhang ang alam natin, ang gusto niya initially ay yung defense portfolio. Eventually, ang nakuha niya ay yung DepEd portfolio.
As more Democrats and donors voice their concerns, U.S. President Joe Biden is reportedly starting to listen. According to those close to private discussions, the president is becoming more open to the idea of stepping down and not running for re-election. Here's the report.
The Democrat Party is in a complete mess right now.
It's no surprise many Republicans feel that way. But more and more Democratic leaders are sounding that same alarm.
Former Speaker Pelosi, Hakeem Jeffries, and Schumer have relayed concerns of some members of the House and Senate caucuses
This week, former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi shared troubling poll numbers with President Biden on a private call, showing he'd not only lose to his Republican opponent Donald Trump, but he could also destroy Democrats' chances of winning the House. Several sources briefed on the call told CNN. The president was said to have pushed back, pointing to different polls showing he can win.
Either he has to win overwhelmingly or he has to pass the torch to someone who can't. It's as simple as that.
A growing number of Democratic lawmakers, including some senior leadership, have shared their concerns publicly in recent days, words that may be taking hold. One senior Democratic advisor now tells CNN the president is becoming receptive to talks of stepping aside, even asking those close to him if they think Vice President Kamala Harris could win.
Kamala Harris actually does a point or two better than Joe Biden in some key states.
And if the powers that be in the Democrat Party can convince him to move off, it's going to be a very different race here in just a month. And it's going to be a nail-biter.
For the moment, the president's deputy campaign manager is towing the line on messaging.
The president has said it several times. He's staying in this race.
I'm Laura Aguirre reporting.
The National Bureau of Investigation apprehended at least 79 Chinese nationals in a raid on a factory in San Jose del Monte, Bulacan. NBI Director Jaime Santiago told the Philippine Star that at least 36 of them were undocumented, while 23 had tourist visas. Santiago, however, did not disclose other details of the operation. And in business world, firms' fundraising and lending activities are seen to surge in the second half of this year. This will come amid the expected easing by the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. First Metro Investment Head of Research, Cristina Ulang, says that expected rate cuts will cheapen credit, which is good for companies looking to borrow. The Signal HD Spikers had a promising start in their PVL Reinforced Conference campaign after defeating the Chocomucho Flying Titans. Signal swept the back-to-back league runners-up in 3 straight sets. The team showed no mercy against Chocomucho and took advantage of former PVL MVP CC Rondina's absence. Earlier, the Petrogas Angels made quick work of Zeus Coffee Thunderbells in 3 straight sets. Brooke Van Sickle led the team with 22 points on 18 attacks. Akari Chargers also started their campaign strong after nabbing victory versus Capital One Solar Spikers in 4 sets. They were led by star spiker Ivy Laxina with 20 attack points. Gymnast Emma Malabuyo is excited for her Olympics debut in Paris. Aside from preparing for the biggest stage in sports, Malabuyo's bubbly personality motivates her to win an Olympic gold medal. From Metz, France, Boom Gonzalez has this report.
I basically compete in like less than 2 weeks. So I think it's like, yeah, starting to hit me of like, wow, I'm right here. I'm almost at the finish line and all of my hard work, is paying off. And just being here, I'm just so grateful to be here.
After winning the bronze medal in the individual all-around of the Women's Artistics Gymnastics Asian Championships in Uzbekistan, 21-year-old Emma Malabuyo was the 4th and final gymnastics Olympic qualifier from the Philippines. She is a couple of days into her training here in Metz, France, and gives us an assessment of how it's going so far.
Yeah, today was just all about adjusting to the equipment and still adjusting to the time change. So I did a lot of, bars, beam, and floor work today. Still getting used to the bars, but I did parts of my routine. And then for beam, still adjusting as well, but I did full beam routines. And then floor, I was just like a little bit tired today just because it's so hot in here. Still adjusting to the heat and all of that. But overall, I think I'm making progress and it felt like a good practice.
Emma's intensity in training is only matched by her bubbly and always positive personality. She lights up a room, even the gym, and infects everyone with her energy. An energy that she gets from the support from Filipinos everywhere.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I've been getting so much love and support all over. I actually have like a short little story if that's okay. So yeah, so at one of the World Cups, I just remember one of the Filipino workers in Azerbaijan came up to me and was like, "Oh my gosh, you're representing the Philippines." And I was like, "Yeah, I am." And he was like, "Well, tomorrow when you compete, I'm gonna bring like all the Filipinos that I know." And I was like, "No way, okay, like sure." So the next day I'm about to compete and do my beam routine, and all like I hear is, "Come on, Emma," like, "Laban, Emma." And I look up in the stands and I literally see like 20 to 30 Filipinos up in the stands just cheering me on. And like after that moment I thought like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. Like I feel so much support and I'm so grateful to represent the Philippines, and I feel like, you know, there's so much pride in that. So I was like really thankful to be represented.
She explains to us her relationship with the other gymnasts and her own encounters with Carlos Yulo.
I met Carlos in 2017 at like a Junior Japan competition, and so I was 13 years old and I think he was like 15 or 16, and he was like really tiny and like scrawny a little bit, and I was like, oh my gosh, he's representing the Philippines, this is so cool. So that was the first time I met him, and he was very shy and really nice. And then when I saw him again in 2023, so last year, I was like, oh my gosh, you're like jacked. That was the first thing I said to him when I saw him. I was like, oh my gosh, Kaloy, you're like this. So that was really funny. But yeah, he's actually, yeah, very funny person, but also just like seeing him doing amazing gymnastics and, you know, making it so far, it's very inspiring too as well.
Emma also tells us what it took to get here.
I would say my word is resilience. I think it also really comes down to my family. They believe in me so much, I think more than I believe in myself. And so sometimes when I'm feeling a little bit unmotivated, or I don't know if I'm like capable of reaching, you know, a certain goal, they're always encouraging me, and no matter what, they're supporting me. And so I think what really pushed me to make it here is both my parents. Like they showed up to every single international meet. So having them be there by my side, I don't think they've ever missed a competition in my whole entire life.
And where her mind is, 2 weeks away from Paris 2024. Emma Malabuyo is the personification of the word persistence. She has a chance of a lifetime and is going all out not to waste the opportunity to be an Olympian for the Philippines.
I just remember going back home and they said, you know, this is not the end. I feel like God has a plan for you, and just like believe in yourself, just give it your all and do the best that you can do. I thought about being myself, enjoying my time out on the floor, and when I did that, I was able to have my best gymnastics and perform.
From Metz, France, I'm Boom Gonzalez.
And those are the top stories of the hour. Join us later at 9 a.m. as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. I'm Pauline Verzosa. We are One News.